EZE shoring is a lightweight, manhandleable trench lining system, ideal for reactive utility work when either hand digging or using a mechanical excavator. The system is made up of 6 individual components which are installed or extracted by hand. EZE shoring equipment is manually handled and lifted to assemble and install. An excavator is not required to install the system. Insert the base plate into the hub pile. Adjust all strut lengths to suit trench width less than 100 mm. The EZE shoring system can be used with a minimum trench width of 705 mm and a maximum trench width of 1725 mm, subject to depth and/or end whaler checks. Site to assess ground conditions and excavate a trench to a maximum of 1 metre below ground level if it is safe to do so. Ensure the trench walls are vertical with no voids. Install a pair of hub piles. The distance between the hub piles to be based on the desired trench length. Ensure the hub piles are in line, vertical and level. Also ensure the hub piles are positioned tight against the trench wall on the ladder access side. Put the first 2 hub piles the appropriate distance apart, dependent on the length of the whaler to be used. Tighten the struts and lock in place. Fit the sliders as shown. Fit the end whaler brackets as shown here. Insert the sword pin to secure the end whaler bracket to the end of the whaler. Ensure the sword pin is in the locked position. Install whalers off the hub struts. Install the whaler struts. Tighten the bottom struts first, then the top struts. Avoid over tightening the top struts at this stage. Whaler struts are secured using whaler sliders. Ensure the sword pin is locked on all end whaler brackets, then install the end whalers. Check for voids, filling as necessary. Insert the infill piles. All infill piles are to have a minimum overlap of 1 interlock. Install the infill piles. Backfill the trench ends against the infill piles. Excavate to a maximum of 500 mm below the piles and then lower the system. Perform a visual check and remove any obstructions. Check for voids, filling them where necessary. Lower the system when clear. Working at height regulations requires suitable edge protection for excavations. That equipment is not shown here for clarity. Release pressure from the struts as necessary and lower the system. Enter the excavation using a secured ladder. Lower the system, ensuring it remains relatively level at all times. To remove the EZE shoring system, backfill the trench in 500 mm layers. Enter the excavation using a secured ladder. Site to carry out pre-entry checks and mandatory weekly checks. Unwind the struts and lift the system 500 mm. Repeat the backfill sequence until the excavation is completely backfilled. Raise the system and remove the infill piles. Once the infill piles are clear, remove the top whalers and struts. Then remove the bottom whalers and struts. Now remove the hub piles. Your system removal is now complete.